guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Chioma Stitches and my name is Chioma. On today's sewing tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to sew this beautiful fancy shirt blouse. If it is something you are interested in, definitely keep watching and don't forget to subscribe. I want to take out this moment to please appeal to you guys to give this video a like and also drop a comment if you can, because your likes and your comments help to give this video visibility. It might not mean anything to you, but it means so much to me, so please don't forget to leave a like before you leave this space. If you are a returning subscriber, I want to welcome you back. Thank you so much for coming back. And if you are a new subscriber, you are welcome. And if you are seeing this channel for the first time, please do not forget to subscribe. You are going to definitely like being here. Okay, so let's get straight into the drafting of this tutorial. Now first you need to get your length. The full length is supposed to be like 2 or 3 inches after your hip line. So if you have your shoulder to the hip measurement to be like say 28 inches, you can add 4 inches extra to it to be the length where you want it to start. Then you will now add your hemming allowance. Okay, and then for the width, you divide your hip measurement by 4 inches and you add maybe 4 or 5 inches to it. That's what you can use to fold it as the width. So I'm working with hip 42 inches divided by 4 is 10.5 inches plus 5 inches will give you at least 16 inches, or rather 15.5 inches. Okay, so the full length of this is going to be, for this particular one I'm making, the shoulder to the hip measurement is 28 inches. So if I add 4 inches, I will have 1 2 3 4, I'll have 32 inches. You can now add half of an 1 inch for hemming. Okay, that's 33 inches, or I can just make it 34 inches. So I'm going to mark as 34 inches for the full length. Because it's a shirt, I'm going to be marking out the allowance I need for the buttonhole sitting and the buttonholes. So I'll be marking out 2.5 inches for that. And then from this 2.5 inches, I will now start imputing the measurement. The shoulder measurement is 8 inches. I'm going to mark 8 inches. I'm going to come down to 1.5 inch for the shoulder slope because it's the front. And then I can now indicate 1 inch where I'm going to start imputing the armhole measurement. Now to get your armhole, you divide your bust measurement by 6 and add 1.5 inches. Bust 41 divided by 6 plus 1.5 will be 8.3 inches. So I'm going to impute 8.3 inches starting from the 1 inch I made, the 1 inch mark I made. So I'll mark it like so. So which would be like 9.3 from here. So I'm going to come here and mark 8 inches again, and then I'll connect it. From here I'll go up by 3.5 for the armhole curve, come in by half of an inch, connect it to the shoulder slanting, that's the slope, and then use the curved part of the ruler to curve the armhole. Okay, then for the neckline, I'm going to use, for the width, I will use 2.6 or 2.7. For the depth for the front, you divide your bust measurement by 12. I have 3.4 inches, so I'm just going to mark out 3.5. So from that 3.5, you can use your hand to curve it, or you use a ruler. So I'm just going to rule it to the 2.5 inches for the buttonholes. Okay, then I will slant this to meet the shoulder slope. Okay, so at this point I will now impute the bust measurement. Bust 41 inches divided by 4 is 10.25 inches. I'm going to add half of an inch for ease on this shirt and then 1 inch for sewing allowance. So this is where I'm at. Now for the waist measurement and the hip measurement, from here I'm going to just indicate it. I'm going to use a waist 18 inches. I'm just going to mark out 18 inches for the waist, and then shoulder to the hip measurement is 28 inches. I'm going to indicate it. Now the waist is 31.5 inches divided by 4 is 7.8 inches. Now I'm going to add maybe half of an inch for ease, or 0.75 inch for ease, because it's a shirt. And then I'll now add 1 inch for sewing allowance. Okay, then for the hip is 42 inches divided by 4 is 10.5 inches. I will add a little bit of ease of half of an inch and then 1 inch for sewing allowance. So I'm just going to connect this and then rule it to the end. and then from the bust as well I'll connect it. Now at this point you can now add your shoulder allowance, that half an inch at the shoulder for joining shoulders. Okay, and then I'll add half of an inch around the armhole for joining the sleeve. You can also add maybe 0.25 around the neckline for joining the collar. Now I'm just going to measure from here to the hip, from the 2.5 inches to the hip. So I have a total of like 12.25. So I'm going to use like 12.5 inches when I am folding the fabric to cut the back. So I can actually cut this out now. Now I'm going to open up this place. So I'm going to set it aside and fold the fabric to cut the back piece. So I'm going to place this front piece here, excluding the 2.5 inches I marked. I'm going to place it like this, and then I'll transfer the pins to keep it in place. Because what I want to cut is the back piece, and the back piece, the shoulder slope is 1 inch, not 1.5. I'm going to add another half an inch to this slope, and I'll connect it to this place. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out the shape of this, and then for the back neckline I'm just going to use half of an inch. So I'm marking out half of an inch here. So I'm just going to use this to cut out the back piece. Now because this is a free shirt, because it's a free shirt and I don't want the sleeve to be very tight on the body, it's going to be a bit free. So I'm going to curve in this armhole sitting. I'm going to extend it so that the sleeve will not be very tight because it's a free shirt. Okay, so I will just extend it and I'll cut out that half of an inch. So I'll cut out the half of an inch since both of them, both the front and the back, are still together. Okay, so this is to create ease so that when you sew the armhole, it will not be very close to the armpit. It will give it a bit of ease. It is not a tight dress, it's a shirt. Okay, I hope this makes sense. Alright, so now that I have this, I'm going to take out the front piece so that I can now alter the back piece. This is the waist area. Now the back of this dress has a bit of joining at the back, just a small joining at the back, so which means we're going to be opening this place up so that we can have a space for the joining, and the space of that joining is about something like this. Okay, it's like something like this. It only has a joining at the shoulder and it extends to that joining at the back and then curves all the way to the waistline. So we're going to be adding, we have a 1 inch sewing allowance on this and a little bit of 1 inch for ease. So I can just come down here and say this is where this is going to stop, and then I will curve it. Now I'm giving this like 1 inch from the back here, and then from there I will connect the curve. I hope you understand what I'm doing. And then I'm going to just connect this back. I'm just going to connect the back from exactly this place. I'm just going to connect it to the back joining. I hope this makes sense. So this is how the back piece is going to be. I'm going to add a little sewing allowance. I shouldn't have cut out this neckline actually. If you are recreating this, don't cut out the back neckline. You'll be needing it. Now I'm going to have to find a way to manipulate that place I cut out, because I'll be needing it for the hemming. So for the hemming, to keep the back neat, I'm going to add like 0.75 inches. And I'll add the same 0.75 inches here. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Okay, and then this place I'm just going to open this place. So this is what we have as the pieces. I'm going to cut out the sleeve now. The length of the sleeve, I'm going to make the sleeve 16 inches. So I'll be needing like 2 inches to hem it at the down part. So for that 2 inches, I'm going to mark out 18 inches. To get the armhole sitting on the sleeve, you divide your bust measurement by 12. So mine is giving me 3.4 inches. But because I wanted to have ease, the way I added ease on the shirt, I'm going to make it 4 inches or 4.3 inches. I want it to be free. The sleeve is going to be as free as the shirt, okay? And then for the armhole, the bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5, you get 8.3. So marking 8.3. I'm going to slant this line, find the middle of the slanted line, and then I'm going to go up by half of an inch and curve it to the end of the sleeve and then connect it to the down part like so. Now I'm going to add all the sewing allowance that I added on the shirt. So first we added half of an inch for ease and then 1 inch for sewing allowance. So I'm going to add all of that. So the round cup of the sleeve is 5.5. I'm going to mark the 5.5 and then I'll add my 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. So I'm just going to connect this. So it's going to be free up until the round cuff. So now this round cuff, when I'm cutting it, I'm going to fold in the 2 inches like this and cut. This is because I want it to have the same shape. I'm going to fold it like this and cut. So you can either weave here before folding it in or just hem it with 0.25 inch so that you can iron it down and fold it in like that, okay? I'm going to go ahead and hem the down part of the shirt, and then I am going to hem the back of the shirt before we start joining the front and the back together. So here I have gone ahead to hem the sleeve. I've hemmed the down part of the sleeve, so I'm going to use a hemming gum. I'm going to place a hemming gum here and I'll fold it down, use a steam iron to steam it, and I'll do the same thing for the other one, the front piece. So I hemmed a little bit of it and I stopped here, and that's because I'll complete it after I've joined the back piece. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fold in this place 1 inch folded twice, leaving half of an inch. That half of an inch is going to be the part that is going to overlap each other when you put the buttons and the buttonhole. I hope you understand. And this is the back piece. I have hemmed it all the way straight, hemmed here as well, as you can see, hemmed here, but I decided to leave it open. I would like this curved effect to get to the end. So what I'm going to do, I will first of all join these sides, the sides. So I'm going to take these front pieces and I will join them. So I'm going to sew here, only here. So these two places, I'm going to go ahead and sew it with 0.75 inches. Okay, I'm going to just sew it 0.75 so that it will create this complete curve. Then after sewing, you can open it up and iron it, and you can also sew each side of the sewing allowance to the other side if you want to. Okay, so here is the sleeve. I have put the hemming gum and ironed it. Look at how neat it looks. So I'm going to set the sleeve aside. I have joined it, as you can see. So I sewed it together, and then I opened up the seam to iron it. This is how it looks from the wrong side. Okay, so this is what I have. So I ironed it open because I'm going to top stitch it like this. I'm going to top stitch it here and top stitch this other seam this way, leaving it open like that. Okay, so see, okay, and this is the front piece. I've hemmed it as well. See, I hemmed it and ironed it. So I am going to go ahead and join the shoulders. So I'm going to go ahead and join the shoulder, and then I will sew the sleeve. Okay, so I have joined the shoulder, as you can see, and then I've also sewn the sleeve. Now I'm going to go ahead and sew the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and sew the sides using 1 inch sewing allowance all the way down, and I'll sew here as well. And then after which I'm going to measure round the neckline, including the space here, okay, including the 4 inches or 5 inches here. I'm going to measure it round, and I'll cut out a long rope round, that is the exact measurement of it, with 1 inch for seam that I'm going to use to do the bishop collar. Okay, so here I've joined the sides, as you can see. Now to hem the down part of this, what I'm going to do is take up the back pieces like so. And the reason why I did not finish it off in the first place is because I want it to start exactly at the beginning here. So I'm going to place this and this together. And I want this to start exactly at the joining, okay? So I'm going to take this all the way here. So I'm just going to take it here, and I'm going to cut out this place. I'm going to cut out this part of it so that when I hem it, it will have a perfect curve shape to the seam. That is why I left that place, okay? So I'm going to take it out now. So now when I'm hemming it now, I'm going to sew it like this, and sew all the way, including here, all the way to like this, to give the perfect design I want. So this is the fabric I'm going to use for the collar, for the bishop collar. I have it to be like 2.23 inches, and then the length is 16.5 inches. I want the bishop collar to be 15.5 inches. Okay, so I've already marked it out. I'm going to cut it out, and then I'll iron a stay on it. Okay, so this is the band I cut out, and I have iron stay on it, as you can see. So I'm going to start sewing it to the shirt. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start attaching it like so. So I'll place this one here, leaving like 1 inch sewing allowance, because I added too much allowance to the band, to the bishop collar, and I'm going to pin it to this direction. And then I'll take this one up from here, take this other end, and I'll pin it from here, leaving 1 inch as well as a sewing allowance. Okay, so I've cut out the excess. So what I'm going to do now is sew here. Okay, just sew this place first. Okay, so this. Now do the same thing on this side. So this is it. Now you can choose to now top stitch this like this to finish it off. So what I like to do is, if I can, I will just use the neckline to turn it up to the place where it stopped first before I top stitch. Okay, so that after ironing it, I will not top stitch it. Anyway, let me show you. So I'm going to fold it in, put all this part of it, push the shoulder inside the band, and then sew it again on the first seam. Okay, so now I'm pulling these ones out. I'm going to bring it out from this place. Okay, so this is it. Look at how clean it looks. So by the time I do the same thing here, I will only have this opening to conceal. So I'll go and iron it, and then I'll top stitch on the opening and all the way from the end to this one. So first let me do the same thing I've done here to this place. So what I do is I open this in back, the collar back, and push everything inside and top stitch it again. So this is it. I'm going to go ahead and iron this before I'll top stitch it. So this, I have ironed it, as you can see. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew the opening. It's still open. So now I can sew it from the right side. This guy, careful with this nonsense you are doing now. So I'm going to top stitch it from the right side now. So this is it. Look at it. And this is the wrong side. So I'm going to go ahead and create buttonholes and then sew buttons underneath, and the dress will be ready. And I'll put it on the mannequin and show us how it looks. If at this point you have not subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you get notified whenever I drop a new content. It's so nice to have you guys today. See you all in my next sewing tutorial. Bye bye. This is the top stitching. So cute.